how are you all doing? So we're back on track with the countdown. I did yesterday's show earlier today, and so we're now 242 days in to Trump's presidency. 242 comes to Donald John Trump 185 plus 57 Tesla. It also comes to Donald John Trump 185 plus 57 England 242, and we've just seen the great man the last couple of days. Hey Joe, or Joy. Hey Joy. Hey Vanessa. If you do numbers plus pull the plug, that's 242 as well. So today earlier this evening, late afternoon, early evening, I went and watched The Life of Chuck film again. Hey Mariano. And Life of Chuck I saw maybe a month or so ago. It kind of came and went, but I managed to find a screening of it today. There's not many of them around. They've kind of taken it off of the air, which kind of is a hint as well. This stood out to me. It stood out to me at the time. There's a number of things in there, but there's three key things, and I've mentioned them, but I'm going to highlight them for you to this evening right now. Are you welcome, Colorado? What part of Colorado? Garden of the Gods? The Monument? So the film starts, and this becomes far more poignant now in reference to Charlie Kirk, because I saw the film prior to the events of Charlie Kirk, and now the snowball of Charlie Kirk is everywhere. Robbie Williams was doing a tribute to him the other night. So, Lamar, where's that? Give us where that is in relation to where is it? So, The Life of Chuck, it starts off, and interestingly, again, I've met one of the actors in that, Chiwetel Ejiofor. He used to live around the corner from me, and he was quite nondescript when you met him in person. Anyway, that aside, but it's it's all part of the timeline. So, Life of Chuck. It starts in reverse, so it's in three parts, but they start the third act at the beginning of the film, which I think is the most interesting, most important, although the other ones have grown on me. Basically, they're kind of in an Armageddon type situation, but also it's quite peaceful as well. Okay, cool. And you realize that they're in this situation, but there's this thing about this guy called Chuck, which is short for, or nickname for Charlie, and then you've got Charlie Kirk, Chuck. So it's become more poignant now since that happened, and the film's kind of started to disappear just around that time of Charlie Kirk, interestingly enough. Anyway, so they first start talking about the internet ban, and there's also a reference to, I might have said that you see it, I watched it again, there's a reference. So they show kind of disaster things around the world. But they reference on the radio, and also in dialogue, at least twice, maybe three times, about sinkholes. So those things that just open up in the middle of the streets, fields, wherever, bridges, just sinkholes. And then the question is, what's underneath the sinkhole? Sinkhole is 93 in numbers. Saturn, 93 in numbers. You've got good ones as well. You've got Flotus. You've got the Underground in London, actually, with the Saturn rings, the symbology, the symbols of it. But sinkhole. So they're telling us sinkholes are going to start appearing. They also do an internet ban. the internet's out, and then they talk about certain websites that you can't access, which dovetailed with a certain piece of legislation here in the UK that you couldn't access certain websites, and that was all over the news. So I'll let you figure out that out, or on YouTube, but I probably could say it, but I'll let you figure it out. But that's referenced deliberately in the film, and it's very interesting because the guy that actually says that is an actor, and I don't know his name, but he's in a couple of the Nolan films. He's first in the Dark Knight, so he's one of the Joker's henchmen who changes his badge to Rachel Dawes, and he's a guy, but he's wearing Rachel Dawes, and he's one of the psychopaths, one of the henchmen of the Joker. And then he's also in, I think it's Bolton. Is his name Bolton? Oh, that might be. I have to check. I think it's Bolton or Bolton, maybe Bolton. Anyway, in Oppenheimer, I have to check. So. The Life of Chuck. But this guy's in The Life of Chuck. So it's interesting that he's cross-pollinated into the other Nolan films. And then they have the emergency broadcast as well. So that comes up. First of all, it's like a kind of joke. And then it's actually serious. It's like an actual military, well, I didn't say military, but it's an actual emergency broadcast system that comes up on the TV. And then you've got things later on in the film. You've got a reference to Back to the Future. You've got different timelines. There's a Star Wars reference there because Mark Hamill's in it. And the Quantum Leap, Luke Skywalker, 174, Real Donald Trump, 174. But those three things in terms of where we're at. And they feature the number 39 a lot. They keep talking about 39 years for Chuck. Tom Hiddleston plays Chuck. He's in a film called High Rise. I have to watch that again. That's quite a weird kind of Kubrick-y type film. A bit like Clockwork Orange in some ways, but there's probably a lot of codes in there. But it also talks about this concept of multitudes, how we all have our own universe in our own mind. And that has merit and worth, which obviously it does. So there's some nice, beautiful things in there. And also the other thing is they start to show the stars dropping from the sky, which is interesting, like Chicken Licken, the sky falling in. But in terms of where we're at, sinkholes was massive. Don't know, they're telling you. They don't show it. They show these other disasters, but they reference it on the radio, in the show, and also in the conversations. And then the internet ban with specific websites that happened here in the UK, maybe other parts of the world, but definitely in the UK. And the emergency broadcast. And we had an emergency broadcast test just about 12 days ago here in the UK. But they had a real one in The Life of Chuck. And then you've got The Life of Chuck, The Life of Charles. And everyone, yeah, there's too many things in there. There's too many there's too many pointers. There's too many deliberate flags pointing to that film. And even the timing of it, and now that it's almost disappeared, and it doesn't really need to disappear. There are other films that they keep re-showing regularly in cinemas that don't seem to have as much in, but this one's kind of almost been taken off. It's like, we'll show you this and then we're going to take it away. So it was really difficult to get it. You might be able to watch it in the US still, or maybe on pay as you go. I don't know. There's a bit of confusion on that when that's released as well. But anyway, that's what it was, folks. And it's definitely worth watching because of those things. California's featured quite a bit. They even reference a volcano in Germany. I hadn't picked that up on the first viewing, but I picked it up this time. I was like, wow, if that was the case. So we'll see what's coming, folks. But in terms of things that are like set the timeline, the internet ban with certain websites, the emergency broadcast, and we've had a test of the emergency broadcast here, and then The Life of Chuck himself. Chuck Norris is also mentioned in F1, not Charlie Kirk, but Chuck Norris. So this Chuck is being chucked around, no pun intended, everywhere. Chuck is 46 in numbers. Yeah. Something's afoot, folks. We know that. And maybe we're in the calm before the storm right now, because the storm's coming soon, very soon, and the Black Swan event will trigger it. And that'll probably ricochet everywhere. And Yeah. Sinkholes, emergency broadcast. They're telling us, folks. They're telling us. They're telling us, but we've got to go through it. We've got to do it. And so bring it on. Yeah, it's based on a short story, Joan, of Stephen King's, which is in the timeline as well, interesting enough. There's a Stephen King book in the Interstellar on the bookcase. Yeah. They're getting us ready. So anyway, give this video a thumbs up, and hey Bob, and also hit the hype button. It's a new button that gives it more of a push outwards, which is helping. So keep doing that if you would. Do that today. Do that now. Check out my Twitter. Check out my Substack, and the Tom Numbers Show on YouTube as well. So there you go. Future Proofs Past. Nice one. Thanks, Bob. I put that in a tweet actually, or a reference to myself yesterday. Might have been in a tweet. So thanks, Diane. And knickknacks. Loads of you are getting these. So these are great. I had these this afternoon again. My knickknacks, clean nicotine. And there you go. I think you get 3 hypes a week, something like that. But just hit the hype button. Just do it each time, and that'll be great. So there you go. Cool. All right, folks. You can get your knickknacks here in the US and in the UK. Soon. The Black Swan is very soon. Very soon. All right, folks. Much love. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. You take care. Bye.